Good morning, everybody.
Good morning again, your favourite time of the week.
It's working.
It's the Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey and our prediction in Mystic Meg Fortune
exactly,
Cookie.
exactly what he said.
Exactly what I said.
Football.
Yep.
Yeah,
let's not be cliched and go like you're coming thick and fast because we say that every week.
Well, I noticed that when
We'll
you
say
told me the
fast and
last
thick.
time, so I said I would consciously make a change to change it up to be more spontaneous in my introduction.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what did you go with?
Let's start.
Okay.
All right.
Oh my God! Earthquake!
We've got an early game, an interesting one. Man City at home to Newcastle.
I would have been more interested, I think, 2 months ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
When Arsenal played them and they were
Exactly.
They got 0-0.
Yeah, Newcastle were still up, but Newcastle are going through a real slump.
They are, aren't they? Yes.
It's a
winless in 4, can't really score goals, and now their defense is conceding as well.
Yeah.
So maybe it's balancing out over the season. I mean, come the start of the season, top 6 would have been like
a fair progress.
Would have been like very good progress for them.
Yeah.
So
100%.
That's still there for them. But in this game against Man City, maybe...
Well, City are 5 points behind Arsenal at this stage. Yeah. And you think this is what will motivate, certainly Guardiola, whatever about the players. And you'd have to imagine it'll motivate him. City are not playing fantastic overall. No. Haaland is not on form, but Foden is back on form,
That's right.
If that keeps going, I think he could keep them knocking on the door against Arsenal of Arsenal.
Because Grealish really doesn't really do it for me. Really, he's not going to be the one to make them win the championship. But Foden and form definitely will make an extra dimension.
Oh yeah, and he's come back now. He was in a bad place after the World Cup.
Yeah. Newcastle will be kind of licking their wounds as well after losing the League Cup pretty timidly overall.
Again, as you say, it's their lack of attack, lack of potency.
Yeah.
There's players that are good on. We've seen them play good. We know the wingers. Is it the French lad? He's got a double-barrel name.
For Newcastle.
Yeah, Malin, Alex doesn't. Very, very, very good
the winger,
going forward.
Yes.
But his end product is still terrible.
That's
him, Maximus Derizimus Gladiator 2. Okay, all right, final prediction. I'm going to go with a City victory. I'm going to say 3-0 or 3-1.
Okay. I agree as well. I think City will have too much for them, maybe 2-0. I wonder, is City playing a Champions League? Is this Champions League week coming up? Not sure who's in the fixtures.
I'm not.
But irrespective, I still think that City to win this one. Then we have Wolves. Interesting one. Wolves at home to Spurs. Spurs obviously shock defeat to Sheffield United in the Cup midweek.
Yeah.
Not acceptable really. I mean, there's only Manchester United and Man City really left. Of the top 6. Fulham, if you include them as well. So it was a chance for Spurs to go and get some silverware,
Yeah, and they haven't had it for a while.
And they dropped, they rested Kane.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was a Spurs fan, which
I'm
not,
disgusted.
Yeah, I would be really upset with this. Wolves lost to Liverpool during the week. They've gone 3-game winless as well. Maybe the honeymoon under JL is kind of like maybe that energy that they had is kind of dying out a little bit. They're finding it hard to score again, which was their problem before JL came in. Spurs have lost 3 out of their 5 away games. I just see a draw on this one. It's very hard to pick a winner.
Yeah.
Maybe Spurs will bounce back. Maybe they'll have more firepower than Wolves. So I see Spurs maybe edging it, but if there is a winner, but overall I think a draw.
Okay, I won't agree with you simply because I know Wolves have had some bad results recently. It looks like, as you said, the honeymoon period is over. But I still like what JL has been doing.
Yes, yeah.
And I saw it when they played away to Liverpool. Or when they were at home to Liverpool. The Molineux Stadium is a tough place to go. And JL will have them organised. They're smarting after losing midweek, just as Spurs are. I think you'll see a better reaction from the Wolves. there's something not right with Spurs. Just
Yeah.
the attitude as well.
Yeah, and we also spoke about the relationship with Conte. There's a divide there.
Yeah.
It's like the players know that he wants out, that he doesn't really care much for this team.
Yeah,
He
so-
thinks that Tottenham are below him.
Yeah.
Is that kind of always that feeling with Conte getting this job, you know?
I think Wolves know they need the 3 points more than Spurs are kind of.
Well, they're still going for top 4.
They're going for top 4, but they're not really bothered about it. I don't know.
Well, they're not, their form isn't showing.
Their form
Yeah.
doesn't show like a team
Yeah.
intent on top 4. But then
So
again,
you
this
think
season,
Wolves-
I think Wolves. I'm going to go with a Wolves victory there. Maybe 1-0.
Yeah, Wolves are only 3 points above the drop zone.
That's
so,
it. They
you know,
need the
They need
points.
points, yeah. Then we have Arsenal at home to Bournemouth. Arsenal who were the first 40 minutes was tough against Everton, but once they make that breakthrough, then they really turned on the style, and Everton really just caved in. I would expect Arsenal to beat Bournemouth at home.
Yeah, I think
No.
I think just we talked about Foden coming on form at the right time. Martinelli is back on form at
Yes.
the right time, back in the
That's
goals after being a bit of a dip.
Yeah.
And that's what Arsenal want. You know, they've responded brilliantly from the United City defeat. Bounced back, 5 points clear now again, so there's a bit of daylight again, and all they can do is keep going out and keep winning their matches.
Yeah. I was actually published on BBC Football. They do the live the live feed during the games, right, on every Saturday and Sunday.
Oh yes, yeah.
And like sometimes they post what people Twitter comments.
Yeah.
So I was they put up my comment.
What
I
did you
said-
say?
I said
Well
that-
done.
I said today will be the day in history when everyone will remember that Martinelli became an out-and-out striker. And then Trossard played up front because Nketiah was dropped. But Martinelli scored,
Yeah, he did.
and when Nketiah is out, the three of them, Saka, Trossard and himself, they rotate a lot. So sometimes Martinelli does go in the centre,
Yeah.
and he scored 2 goals again against Everton. So this may be a system maybe that it's like a false 9, but
Yeah, it's one that was very effective. The City had it with Tevez when Tevez and Nasri and Aguero were all there, and they used to just.
yeah, I think Saka needs to do that more too, because players they're watching him on that wing
Mhm.
and they're doubling up on him. But the first goal was when he actually came into the centre and they lost him.
Yeah.
So that's something I think Arsenal need to do more.
Okay. Anyway,
Arsenal to win.
Arsenal to win, and again, I agree. It could be 4-0, 5-0.
Yeah, and the thing, football's a funny old game. Nothing is ever a dead certain.
Oh no,
More than
exactly.
likely.
But you have to go at what
Yeah.
what the indicators are.
Yeah. Then 2 other teams who were struggling. Chelsea at home to Leeds. Think of that one.
Well, I keep saying things have to do an upturn for Chelsea, and then they turn around and lose so limply. It wasn't about. It's the lack of shots on target.
That's right,
They're not
amazing,
even.
yeah.
It's.
With so
God,
much,
lads, have a go with the talent that's there, and it's unbelievable, really. If I was a Chelsea fan, I'd be tearing my hair out. Thank goodness I'm not.
Leeds,
Leeds.
one away win in the Premier League all season.
Exactly, that's the other thing. I have to go with Chelsea, and I've gone with Chelsea many times with egg in my face, because the players are too darn good at home that there shouldn't be any question of them beating a pretty poor and average, well, poor is the word, Leeds team.
Well, at Leeds, they did, wasn't that they had a victory recently? I know they lost in the Cup to Fulham, but they beat Southampton, right? They beat
Yeah.
Southampton. The new manager has come in. We were right, it was Garcia.
Garcia, you were right.
Yeah. So maybe there might be a little bounce back from that. But at home to Chelsea, you have to go with that Chelsea.
But they're not doing it. Who's going to score the
I
goal for
wouldn't
them?
back on this game. If I was a punter, I wouldn't be putting money on
Reece
it.
James to score a goal, because none of the forwards can do it.
Yeah. Chelsea now no win in 5 Premier League games. They've lost their last 2. Only 5 teams have scored fewer home goals than Chelsea. So all damning indictments. But so this one, we'll
Okay.
let you decide.
Yeah, I say Chelsea 1-0, Reece James to score.
Okay. Then we have got a Villa at home to Palace.
Villa Palace. Okay, well, Palace. We've always said. I'm sorry. I'm a stuck record player about Palace.
They've become draw specialists. They've drawn 5 out of their last 6.
Yeah, I mean
They've no win this season, no win in
this
2023,
calendar year. Yeah,
and only 2 away wins in the whole Premier League. He's been dropping what's Zaha as
Zaha,
well,
yeah.
because Zaha's just maybe he's gone off form a little bit.
He's off form. Maybe he's looking. I think this is his last year. He's going to be a free agent at the end of the season and hasn't signed a new contract.
Okay.
I'm going to back Villa at home. They're still not quite clear. Emery has done a great job with them. They'll be better, more organised. They're much more entertaining to watch since Emery came in. Watkins has shown
really
a bit of form.
Yeah, really come good.
So back in Villa there at home to go with the 3 points, maybe 2-0.
Yeah, I agree. Exactly the same score as well. They had 2 defeats, but they played Arsenal and City. They were back to their usual form. They beat Everton, I think, 2-0 in their last game. So against a kind of a mediocre Palace team, I think Villa, definitely will win this one at home. Okay. Then we have Brighton. Brighton, who went in the Cup, beat Stoke midweek, so they're friends in the next round of the Cup. They're at home to West Ham, who were 2 late goals beaten in the Cup to United.
A tough match to call. You go first.
Brighton, their goals have kind of dried up recently, but the good thing is that they're still creating chances. They're just not putting them away recently, but creating the chances is a positive thing for them against West Ham, who did beat Forest and looked really good when they beat Forest. And I think the key for that good performance was having Danny Ings playing up front. I mean, like he was what they've been looking for, and they looked a different team completely. Now he was cup tied in the game against United, so we expect him to be back against Brighton. And just because Brighton are kind of like stuttering a little bit, they've only won 1 of their last 4 in the Premier League, have not scored more than 1 goal in their last 4 games. I'm just expecting West Ham maybe to do a sneaky one here. And that's from my sister, who was telling me that she's been watching these videos. Come on, the Hammers. Okay.
Right, well, sorry, sister. I have to disagree with your brother there. Brighton at home, playing fantastic football. As you said, if the goals have dried up, but you're creating the chances, it'll swing back again. I think they're far more of a team ethos there than what West Ham have been showing. West Ham are tough to break down, but don't give enough going forward. So I'm going to go for a Brighton victory, maybe 2-0 or 2-1.
Okay. Ooh, okay. We'll see where this one goes. Okay. Southampton at home to Leicester.
Oh my God, Southampton-Leicester.
Yeah.
They're two.
A couple of weeks ago, we were saying a lot of teams were actually,
on
doing
upward curves. Yeah.
But a lot of teams are going on a downward
They're
trend.
going back again. Yeah. Leicester. Southampton, really, you can't see where their survival is going to come from.
Yeah. Tell me, name one other player on the Southampton team besides Ward-Prowse.
Morrison.
Morrison, is that a player?
I don't know.
Well, there you go.
He was good in the doors.
My point proven. Right, championship team, championship squad.
No.
I had to Google this as well. I wrote it down somewhere. Lemina. They've got a player called Lemina on their team, I think.
Okay, wow.
Okay.
Lovely.
Anyway, I think Southampton are 4 points adrift. So, they could. There's a bit of space developing between them and safety.
Absolutely. They're the ones that need a win, and they'll still be in the relegation zone. It's just to get them back in the mix of keeping it tight.
They're playing a Leicester team, and only Southampton have more league defeats than Leicester this year.
Leicester's so hot and cold, it's impossible. But they have the better players. Like, I can name more than one Leicester player.
Exactly,
I can tell you that
was
exactly.
My thought, yeah. Madison should be back as well too. That'll be an important factor for them. I'm just going to go for Leicester just because Southampton are just so poor.
Yeah,
can't
disagree with that. Yeah, I'm afraid the writing could be on the wall for Southampton.
Okay, but it just could easily be a draw here as well too, because
or it could be a victory.
Yeah, it could be either.
It could be any of them.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah, but don't tell them that, right? That's why we're here. We're here to tell them that we do know.
We're to tell them that we do know.
We
okay.
don't know. We're sure it's going to be a Leicester win.
A Leicester win.
Yeah. Now we've got a Forest at home to Everton, another relegation battle.
I'm sticking with my thing. I've always been a fan of Forest and Forest at home. They always raised their game. Great supporters, great stadium. Everton do need the victory. They had a, the honeymoon was very short with
Deitch.
With
Not Deitch.
Yeah, be careful.
You said that before. I watched it. You did. Deitch.
Anyway, old Shawnee boy will look to get his defence right, but Forest have been playing well. I will go with a Forest victory. I'll say 1-0. I think it'll be tight because again, Deitch is a defence man first, and he will have them hard to break down.
That's it. Yeah, they did sit them. They were really good, organised in the first 40 minutes held against Arsenal. But once they got the breakthrough, they did kind of fall apart and lose their discipline. Problem is they've got no striker.
Yeah.
They haven't brought anybody in the January.
Yeah.
Calvert-Lewin is out injured. They only have hopeless Neil Maupay up front.
Yeah.
Which is not going to score them goals. Forest, as you said, very poor away, but different proposition at home. I'm expecting as well Forest to win this one as well, and put more misery on Everton. We've only scored 17 goals in the Premier League all season. And so not good form. Okay, let's move on. So what are we then to next? What's
I
next
think there's a small match coming up soon.
on Sunday? Liverpool against Manchester United, right?
Yeah, we can move on from that. We all know what that's going to be.
Well, would it be a case of that United? I mean, they had the the double header against Barcelona, then they had the League Cup, then they had the FA Cup. Games been coming, they've won them all. So fair play to them. Also, shout out to my godson Evan, a big Man United fan who's also been watching these videos. Congratulations, Evan, on your victory in the League Cup. But will they beat Liverpool?
This is a derby, and form often goes out the window. Even when United were winning leagues in the 90s, the trip to Anfield was always the one they didn't enjoy because Liverpool could be rubbish, but they loved the game against United.
Yeah.
It's funny, 1 year on, like Liverpool were going to Old Trafford and hammering them 12 months ago and embarrassing United. And this year, all the smart money is on United. Liverpool showed have shown some decent defensive form, but then they turn around and get 5 goals conceded by Real Madrid.
Yeah.
The defence is just one mistake away from another, just confidence going.
Robertson was dropped midweek. Alexander Gordon was terrible against Crystal Palace a couple of times ago.
Yeah, there we go. I hope I'm wrong, but I do think United will keep their winning streak going and pile more misery on Liverpool. Things get worse before they get any better. We have the players to do it, but I just don't think that the organisation is there in the back, and there's something really wrong with the midfield and defence and the communication between both.
Yeah, and he can't pick his first choice midfield now as well too. Who is the first choice in there? There's about 6 or 7 of them, and none of them really are on form.
No, the young fella is the best player we have in midfield, and I can't pronounce his name, so I'm not going to try.
Okay. You know who he is. You know who you are.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for Liverpool win just because it is a home game. I think Liverpool will be up for this one. You think they'd up for the Madrid game too, but
they were 2-0 up after 15 minutes. It's a defensive issues that they have.
I just think that maybe United, they've been so many games coming top level games. They might just be a little bit tired for this one.
I love that. It means no training. You're just playing and resting.
Yeah.
Playing, resting. No training. None of them drills.
This game with the crowd will be high intensity as well too. So I just
Rashford against Arnold.
Yeah.
Rashford will be licking his lips.
Jota looks back. It's good to have him back.
It's good to have Jota back, to be fair.
Nunez scored as well. Salah scored.
Well, Nunez scored, but wasn't allowed. There we go.
Yeah. So I'm just going to go for Liverpool win on this one. Sorry, Evan. Just because it is the Liverpool at home, and United have played so many games.
And deep down with Arsenal, he's a bit worried about United, Evan. So that's why he's predicting that, or hoping it rather than predicting it.
Could be right. You could be right. Okay, then there's another late game on Monday. Brentford at home to Fulham.
Brentford-Fulham, yes, that's the late Monday night game. And a quick one on that. Hard to call because two teams I really like this season playing, especially Fulham.
Yeah.
Just coming up, and you kind of go, are you going to be seesawing like Norwich, up, down, up, down? Brilliant. We've said it every week. But Brentford are at home. I'm going to give it to Brentford the home advantage.
You think that Tony being like in the courts that he's been basically admitted to the betting thing?
That's been ongoing for a while. Unless the FA come and suspend him, and then obviously he's not playing.
Yeah.
But assuming Tony's playing, he knew he was out of that's been there for months, and it hasn't affected his form or his performances the last 2 months.
It's a bit different now. I don't know.
Now that it's kind of resolution is great as long as he can still play.
Yeah.
He might have a fine, he might have a suspended sentence, but if Brentford know they need him, so they're going to support him and say, look, okay, he did wrong, but he didn't. He did it in ignorance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're
losing a little bit of steam recently. They're still undefeated in 11. They're the longest undefeated thing now in the Premier League, I think. They drew with Palace, they drew with Arsenal. And I think they didn't play last week because of the Man United were playing.
Yeah, they were cup tied
in the League Cup.
Or the guys were.
Fulham unbeaten in 4, have 5 away wins, but the Paulinho is going to be suspended.
Yeah,
and he's a very important player in their midfield. The last time he wasn't there, they lost 4-1 to Newcastle. But so just because I think Brentford are kind of losing a little bit of steam at the moment, I do think that Tony, that it's kind of come out publicly now that like he's going to face some sort of charges. I'm going to go for Fulham to win this one, and Brentford to lose their away return.
I'm on Brentford.
Okay.
I suppose one question there, if we have 1 minute, yes.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Mason Greenwood situation in United? So all charges were dropped, but he's still suspended.
I haven't been following it, so I know that he was in court. Charges have been dropped. He's still suspended by the Premier League.
By the club.
By Man United.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, another earthquake.
Okay. So
I'm just curious,
maybe they know.
How
something.
do you work this out? Because if a person's, I won't say proved innocent, but is not guilty, is it unfair to keep him suspended? Put your comments below.
Yeah, I think that would be.
Can he ever really play, even though he hasn't been found guilty? Because that videos and the pictures, have we made? Are we the jury? And we've made our decision about him, and that it kind of be unacceptable to see him on a football field again. I don't know. I just read that I saw a Turkish club are interested in trying to get him on loan or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, for me, I think that would be another economical question.
Okay.
But I'd have to maybe pass that on to the bishop.
Okay, we will leave it at that.
Okay. All right.
Okay, thank you guys.
All the best.
As always.
Take care. Enjoy the football.
Now I know some of the 20-something views we get. They come from
not
the
all mine. Okay. All the best.
Bye-bye.
Take care.